Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scottie B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scottie B. What up, what up, what up? This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scottie B.
Man, you gotta be so angry.
Nah. I heard the music, so I started shouting.
Oh, no. He was aggressive. I was
a bit.
Nah, man, what's going on? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling real good, man.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. And so before we even
hold
get to
on. Let me backtrack. I'm feeling good in certain aspects of life. I'm not feeling good as a NFL fan.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, we'll get there.
I have a question for you.
Yeah,
but not yet. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait before I ask that question. But I do want to ask. How was your weekend? How was your week? Up until right now, aside from football, no, that's not. Aside from football.
Yeah, aside from football, man, I'm great, man.
Awesome. All right, yeah, same here. I guess we'll get right into it. We'll get right into it. My question to you, Scott, because there's no need to wait and anything. Is it panic time?
No, it's not panic. It's not panic time.
Okay.
But I am worried.
Okay. Worried sounds like panic, but I mean, if
it's close, it's a step down.
You're inching towards panic. You ain't pressed the button yet, but you're a little shaky. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little shaky.
All right, so let's start there. So if you don't know what we're talking about, 49ers played the Cardinals this past weekend. Had a 23-10 lead going into the half. But ended up losing the game 24-23, correct? Or 25-23, something like that. They lost. Scott, I've been waiting days to ask. I didn't bring it up. We had conversations. I let you think that I ain't know what was going on. I played possum. The floor is yours, my good friend. What's going on?
All right. Long story short, man, we can't close games. To lose to the Cardinals, I mean, that was bad. That was bad. And really, honestly, what it boiled down to was turnovers. We had 3 turnovers. What also is starting to scare me is we're missing Christian McCaffrey is having an effect on our team. I like Jordan Mason. He's a good running back, but he's not Christian McCaffrey. I am concerned with our offensive line and the defense, like I said, just giving up and blowing these leads and not closing out games. It's a bit concerning. Like, we took 2 losses to the Rams and the Cardinals, which were games that we should have won. The Cardinals and the Rams are not the premier teams in the NFL. The Vikings, looking back and reflecting back on that loss, you can almost say, like, okay, you don't want to lose to the Vikings because it was Sam Darnold. But knowing what we know now about the Vikings, you could say, okay, you can almost stomach that. But to lose to the Arizona Cardinals, I'm worried. I am worried. Can we right the ship? I mean, 2-3. You can climb out of like 2-3. You can still like go on a run, and we've been in very similar situations. You go back some of the years, but yeah, it's time to get worried and to bunker down and to figure out like what's going on, because 2-3 is not where any fan base wants to be. Nobody wants to see their team at 2-3.
Right. No, I agree. That was actually spot on. And it brings into question how important is Christian McCaffrey, right? So we can think about this, right? And I know I bring this. I used to bring this up probably a season and a half ago. Is that before Christian McCaffrey got to the 49ers, it was I think it was around 2-3. If I'm not mistaken, I think you guys were around either 3-2, 2-3, getting ready to play the Kansas City Chiefs.
I believe we dropped to like 3-4 or something.
It was average, and so I mean he's clearly that important. Which brings me to another thing that I thought about, and it's gonna be valuing the running back position a little bit more. I think that this is showing, yes, the Cowboys got a win, and Rico Dowdle played a little. I ain't gonna say a little better. He played better, but it's not valuing the running back position, right? And who knows? Rico Dowdle may end up rushing for 1,000 yards this year. Jordan Mason may end up running for 1,000 yards this year, but they're not premier backs, right? And I think that when you have a back like a Christian McCaffrey, I think Saquon Barkley, when you have one of those guys that you can get a ball to and they can be on the field, a 3-down back, I think that is necessary. And Derrick Henry, I mean, people, myself included, counted Derrick Henry out. I was like, man, he's washed. I ain't necessarily say he was washed, but I felt like he wasn't going to be.
I did. No.
Yeah, but I felt like he wasn't going to be as productive as in the past. He leads the league in rushing right now. And this, when Christian McCaffrey was playing, he was one of the top back. He led the league in rushing at one point. And he was one of the top backs in the league. So I think that the running back position they have to do something, right? Because I can tell you right now, if I'm not gonna let my son play running back, you could be a linebacker or a safety or I won't let you, because you won't be valued that much. Maybe in high school or in little league, but in college, and you're gonna have a bunch of 5'9", 170-pound backs because nobody wants to play running back. But yeah, man, I don't. If you ask me in regards to the 49ers, I don't think it's panic time. But there should be some cause for concern, right? And the reason why is because I've always said the 49ers were top heavy, and if you started having injuries, how would you look? And right now, you had the injury bug. I don't really think the injury bug bothered y'all last week. I mean, you had everybody except for Christian McCaffrey. You had Debo and Kittle, Ayuk was there, Usyk, Brock Purdy, Trent Williams played. So I mean, you had most of your Avengers. Okay, so
Turnovers killed us last week. I mean, like if you turn the ball over 3 times, the other team turns the ball over 0 times, you're going to lose every time. Like
well,
that's why
I wouldn't say every time.
Most times, if you get the ball up 3 times and the other time doesn't,
There was a team on Sunday that turned the ball over 3 times and found the way to win.
But how many times did the other team turn the ball over?
I don't know if Pittsburgh turned the ball over. Pittsburgh couldn't finish. That was Pittsburgh's problem. Pittsburgh, listen. So here's all right. So
Dallas's defense showed up. I was impressed with the defense.
Did you stay up to watch the whole game?
I ended up falling asleep, and I had to rewatch it. Yeah, you know that's
it was late. It was late, but listen. So that game, the main reason why I was going to stay up and watch that game, win or lose, was because disrespect that the Dallas Cowboys had gotten going into that game. And I mean, you had guys saying that 90% of the people on TV took the Pittsburgh Steelers, probably higher. Then you had guys saying that the Cowboys should tank. You had people saying that the Cowboys are missing all these guys. There's no way that this game should be close. And I said, and what I was thinking was like, damn, are they playing a UFL team or a high school team? That like it was like, and then they kept on talking about, yes, the Steelers have the league's #1 defense. And I said, since when did the Steelers become the '85 Bears? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, here's my thing. Yes, the Cowboys don't have the premier running game, and honestly, everybody keeps on talking about our run defense, and it was 2 games. It was 2 games, and we couldn't stop the run. It was well noted. But I'll tell you this: the Ravens have been business as usual, but that's what the Ravens do. The Saints have not won a game since they beat the Cowboys. Since those fans had that little parade in Texas, they have not won a game. They are 0-3 since they beat the Cowboys, and look very, very fraudulent. But since that Saints game, the Cowboys have I think they gave up 26 yards to the Giants, who went into Seattle and ran for over 100 and won, and gave up under 100 to a running Steelers team because they damn sure can't pass, but they can run the ball, and they've been running the ball all year. So just like you give your critiques, give your same praise. Don't try and move the goalposts, and that goes to everybody. That goes. I'm calling everybody out that has something to say about the Cowboys. Week 2 and week 3, keep the same energy. Don't be, oh yeah, but you just played, because that's what happened. The week after we played, you just played the Giants. You just played the Giants. I said, okay. I said, whatever. That same Giants team went to Seattle and ran the ball down their throat and went into Seattle and beat them. Should have beat them by a lot more than what they did. The same people saying, oh, they can't stop the run. Guys are prideful. Scott, you're prideful. I'm prideful. If somebody keeps on telling you you can't do something, you're gonna make it your business to be able to do that. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna just keep on telling me, yo, you can't stop the run. You can't. I'm gonna make it my business to stop the run. Now I may give up the passing yards, but I tell you what, missing Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and then losing Nealon, the 2nd round pick. I thought that that was a very good performance by Dallas's defense. I mean, 2 weeks ago, Justin Fields, they were saying, should Justin Fields be the starter for the rest of the season? Now they're questioning.
They're questioning that.
Yeah, Fields even be on the team.
Yeah.
And
So back to that, right? I
uh-huh.
think if Justin Fields has another performance like that, I think they're going to go to Russell Wilson.
Well, Russell Wilson has to get healthy.
Yeah, he's got to definitely get healthy. I'm a bit nervous because I did pick up Justin Fields in our fantasy league. I've got Patrick Mahomes on the bye this
Okay.
week. And by the way, if I can make it through this week, and I'm projecting to lose because I've got Kelsey, I've got Mahomes, and I got Justin Jefferson out, AJ Brown. We don't know if he's going to come back. I don't know if Joe Mixon's going to come back. If I somehow make it, huh?
I said not this week.
Yeah. If I somehow make it through this week, people are in trouble. They better watch out.
Who do you play this week?
I play Mark White.
I destroyed him last week.
Yeah, your team, though. Your team is going to be those teams for the finish line, right? You're going through a little rough patch, but what scares me is you got a lot of weapons, and they all start going off the same week. I think you can compete with anybody. It's a couple of teams like that to where, like, yeah, maybe I may have beat them, maybe their record is not what it needs to be, but they've got the pieces that, hey, this guy get explode for 100 yards any day of the week. But I'm just telling y'all, I'm quietly sitting there. If I make it through this week, it's only a few teams that can stop me. And I mean, your team, I'll tip respect, but if I make it through this week, I'm just putting cats on notice.
You put them on notice?
Putting them on notice. I tried to put them on notice at the beginning of the year. All right. Still haven't got my flowers. Okay. Now I'm going to take my damn respect. Yep.
I mean, you undefeated though.
Yeah. And I'm not at full health.
Hey, everybody got injuries. You're projected to win, by the way. Scott, hey, listen, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I can do this whole boo-hoo me. The man is undefeated in our fantasy league. And I ain't trying to hear that. But I do have a question for you. I have a question for you. Deshaun Watson.
You want to go there?
Is he cooked? Are we sticking a fork in him? Is he done?
All right. So yesterday, it wasn't yesterday, Sunday. Me and you privately were having this conversation. And you brought up some concerns that I have to investigate a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm not going to steal your thunder because I'm sure you're going to make all those points. But I want to say before I get into what I'm about to say is you made very valid points. I personally, brother is washed. I get it. They're going to have to play him for the rest of this year. But after this year, I mean, like, you realize that he's putting up worse stats than like Jamarcus Russell. Like, is that bad? Like, his QBR is that bad.
I know it was like single digits. It was like single digits against the Commanders.
Yeah, it was like 8.9 or something like that. And then you look at his accuracy, it's like well below like 60%. He's got no chemistry. He's taking a lot of sacks. The team doesn't look good behind him. He seems a step too slow. I'm going to say, man, at 29 years old, he looks washed. He looks washed. What do you think?
All right. So yeah, he don't look great. We'll start there. All right. He doesn't look great. And but I don't think, and I hate to feel like I'm like being like a Deshaun Watson apologist, right? But the organization, I'll say this, talking about the Commanders game, that's the most recent data that we have, right? so, so third quarter, I wish I had the play available so I could show everybody. That's my fault. I should have been more prepared. But third quarter, about 12 minutes and some change to go. They're driving, and it's a I believe it's 24-6 or 24-3. And he throws the ball. I mean, they was talking about Lamar Jackson's pass, and we'll get into Lamar Jackson in a little bit. But he threw a dot. It was a dime. It was on point where it should be. It hit the receiver in the worst possible spot. Chance. I mean, it was Scott. We could have made that catch. It was probably his best pass of the year, right? And that changes the game because now it's a 2-score game, and you know you have some sort of momentum, right? 14 points in the NFL, honestly, is it's easy to come back from. I don't want to say easy, but we've seen it happen a number of times. But on that same play, the lineman, it was terrible that they didn't help him on that play. He had about 2 seconds that he had to leave the pocket, but he broke contain and threw the ball to Jerry Jeudy, and he dropped the ball in the end zone. So things like that, your QBR is going to be terrible when guys are dropping the passes. He has one of the worst O lines in the league, based on PFF, right? I know everybody don't want to use PFF, but PFF says they have one of the worst O lines in the league. Even their defense doesn't look the same. And again, I don't want to sound like I'm caping for Deshaun Watson, because he still is playing bad. He's not playing great. Like he's not being the guy that we've seen. And I know everybody wants to bring up Houston Deshaun, but we ain't seen it. We ain't seen it, and it's like, what does he have to do to get there? I think not having Nick Chubb coming back to the running back position. Nick Chubb is one of the top running backs in the league. And so not having Nick Chubb because of injury, I think plays a part. Now, is it the main factor? Probably not. I think that he's still not being he's not I don't want to call him wise, because I don't he's gone through enough, right? But to be fair, he looks cooked. He looks cooked, and can he salvage the season? Can he? I don't know if the Browns are a playoff team now. I mean, this same group went to the playoffs. The only thing that they're missing is Flacco, Joe Flacco. That's it. I mean, he still got the same receiver. And Joker was hurt, but he's back. Flacco's not there, and he was cooking. Flacco was cooking. Flacco ain't cooked.
Yeah, I mean, and you bring it up, right? If Joe Flacco could step into your huddle and take your team to the playoffs, for me, that's where it symbolizes that he may be cooked. All your points are valid points, right? Mm-hmm. But I look at it, if his offensive line was a little bit better, do I think we get a better result? Me personally, no. I think even if he had Nick Chubb, he had the offensive line. Jerry Jeudy makes that catch. We're still looking at not the same Deshaun Watson. And what I'm worried about with Cleveland is that so we speak about the contract a lot, right? About like
Yeah.
how they're married to playing them. But what we also forget is the 3 first rounders that they gave up to get Deshaun Watson. And what you're starting to see is, okay, you've got all that money invested in your quarterback, on top of the fact that you've given up your future capital, on top of the fact that I don't think anybody was anticipating that he was going to be suspended basically half a season. He was going to be hurt the other half of the season. So there was a rust component, and there was a factor of him not like really like playing the games that they saw it off of. At the time they acquired Deshaun Watson, that team was loaded. That team was in a position to where it felt like the only thing that they needed was a quarterback. So I'm not always going to bash like the Browns like for giving them the guaranteed money and making the deal. I think they were in the position at the time to where they were in the win now. It looked like Baker Mayfield may not have been the quarterback of the future of the franchise. And they felt like they were a quarterback away. And they made a move to get a guy that I feel like it was a little bit of interest in Deshaun Watson, but because of everything that was going on, it wasn't as much interest as it would have been. Like
Atlanta was trying to get him.
Yeah, Atlanta was trying to get, like, I feel like if he didn't have all the cases, he would have got more interest. Like, I think it was teams that was trying to get him, but it would have been more teams like had it just been, hey, I'm just requesting the trade out of Houston, right? So I think honestly they're going to have to figure it out this year. I hope Kevin Stefanski and the rest of those guys, Ken Dorsey, and I forgot the defensive coordinator. I hope those guys don't get fired, because this is clearly,
I don't think they're gonna get fired.
Nah, hopefully not. They don't get fired, because I mean it's obvious they're gonna have to play Deshaun Watson. It's just with the money, like he can't go to the bench. Like they're just gonna have to like.
Here's my thing. I in that situation, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I feel like if you're trying to win, and here's the thing, it's not like you have draft, like you said, you don't have the draft capital to do that. And I understand you got money tied up into this guy, but if you gotta sit him down for a little bit, so he can recalibrate or regroup, re-energize, whatever the is. If you have to sit them down to do that, I think that you should. I don't think that because you're paying them this money that you should subject the fans, your team, the everybody to bad quarterback play or bad play. And if he's the one that's clearly holding you back, then you put somebody in there that can keep the ship sailed until he can get his stuff together. You can still have him as you can still,
This is the only problem with that. So you're right and you're dead on about everything that you just said. The problem is that if you do that, you're ultimately admitting that you made a mistake.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing. Well, there's mistakes. This could easily go down as the worst trade in NFL history if they sit this guy and they just acknowledge and concede, like, look, he's washed. We made a mistake. We have to go to Jameis Winston. I think they got I forgot who else. Is it
Dorian Robinson Thomas?
Yeah. If they concede and they've got to go to one of them two and move him to the bench, it's going to be bad. I mean,
Nah, but here's the thing:
the right
we're not blind, Scott. And if you go into it saying, you know, we gonna spend. I mean, he may not like it. I mean, but some sort of change has to happen, right? You can't just go through the season looking like how you look against all these teams. Like something had it doesn't make any sense because whether he plays or not, it already looks like it's been a mistake. So I'm not saying cut your losses. I'm not saying get rid of them and whatever. What I'm saying is you may have to you gotta recalibrate. You gotta regroup. You gotta retreat and regroup. And I feel like that if they want to salvage their season, they may want to get somebody else in there, maybe for a game or two. 2 games, see how it goes. If you're losing it, put them back in. But you know, I'm sure Deshaun Watson would hate it. He probably would check out at that time. He's gonna get his money one way or the other. But what are we trying to do? What is the end goal here? Because if it's not make the playoffs, it really wasn't no point in you making that trade anyway. If it is to make the playoffs, look, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. It's I don't know why you're gonna subject yourself to this misery every game. If you're just gonna throw them out there and it is what it is. No, you got other people in this position that may not even be as good, but right now they're probably mentally more stable than Deshaun Watson. And because it doesn't make any sense for somebody like Joe Flacco to come off the couch and be more successful than any other Browns quarterback has been in the last freaking lifetime or generation. Baker Mayfield had that one good year, but aside from that, the Browns have been a laughing stock. I mean, and it's ridiculous. So, I don't know when Nick Chubb's coming back. I don't know when he's coming back. But you have to do something. He can't run anymore. Deshaun Watson can't run anymore. At least DTR or DRT, whatever his name is, he's young. He can run if he needs to get out of there because the line play is not that great. So something has to be done. You can't just stick with the status quo and just say, well, we're paying them, so we got to keep them in there. That doesn't make any sense.
So, okay. No, that's fair enough. All right. So something that I really, really, really wanted to get your opinion on is last night we learned that the Jets have fired Robert Saleh. So when you dig into this story a little bit more, it's been reported that he was going to relieve Nathaniel Hackett of his play calling duties. And I forget the coordinator that he was going to have, that he was going to sign play calling to. And shortly after, he was fired. So, okay, let me paint a picture, right? So, Robert Saleh, he's been 7-10 most years. Well, I think
his career record is 20-36 as a head coach.
Yeah. Okay. We all agree that the defense played really well under his regime. The defense wasn't the problem. Correct. The problem was the offense.
Correct.
So they bring in Nathaniel Hackett. I think the Jets were in a similar situation to the Browns, right? They felt like they were just a quarterback away from the guy. So first year did pretty well. The Zach Wilson era, right? So totally great on Zach Wilson. Now Zach Wilson can come back and end up being a good quarterback somewhere down the line. I think we spoke about that last week to where, you're seeing kind of the reemergence of some of these retread quarterbacks that maybe their career didn't get off to the best start. So no lost hope for Zach Wilson. Maybe he'll come back and he'll be better. So they decide to pull the plug on Zach Wilson, bring in Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, so he got a pass last year. This year, Aaron Rodgers looks like his chemistry is off with the team. The offense looks like it's off. And I guess changes did have to be made. And I guess that Robert Saleh was looking at it like, hey, look, Nathaniel Hackett is my problem. And I'm going to make a change before I get fired. And it looks like the Aaron Rodgers got the last laugh. What are your thoughts on this whole situation, man?
I got a question for you before I answer this. Should we play the winner of the week intro?
No.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Here's my thing. I think that Nathaniel Hackett is one of the worst coaches in the NFL. Whether he's a head coach or he's an offensive coordinator, I think he's terrible. I think that he has clearly shown that he's not a good coach, right? Let me go back a little bit. Because he was the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers when what's the coach? Matt LaFleur got the job. He was the offensive coordinator, but he wasn't the play caller. LaFleur was the play caller. Okay, so we got that there. He got the Broncos job. And correct me if I'm wrong, he didn't even make it through a year, right? He didn't make it through a year as the head coach. He got fired like 12 games in or something crazy like that. Maybe it was even 15. But whatever. Then after the Broncos, I think he was with the Jets. The Jets hired him. He might have had to stop in between the Broncos and the Jets. But the Jets were on a we're trying to get this quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. We know he's having difficulties in Green Bay, and we want to get him as the offensive coordinator so we can get Aaron Rodgers. And I want to say they went and hired Nathaniel Hackett before Aaron Rodgers got there, like the season before, something like that. So anyway, if you look at the numbers, the Jets' offense has gone completely down the tube. Their offense was better with Zach Wilson. Just to let you know how bad their offense is right now. Their offense was better with Zach Wilson. And we just had a whole segment on is Deshaun Watson cooked. So I think that we need to investigate if Aaron Rodgers is cooked. And while we're doing that investigation, we need to investigate if he's a coach killer. I'll bring that to the forefront in a second. In this situation with Robert Saleh, I don't think that he was doing a great job as a head coach. Now, he's a defensive guy, and the defense is in the top 5 in damn near every major category, right? So that's clearly not the issue. If this report is correct that he was gonna get rid of or relieve Nathaniel Hackett of his duties, I think that we have a nasty work alert that's about to. There's some nasty work going on right now, and I think that it's got to be something more, right? And we had a conversation last night about the whole thing with the patch that he wore when he was in overseas. So does that play a part into it? Are we gonna see something with Nathaniel Hackett not Nathaniel Hackett, but Robert Saleh filing charges because we've seen coaches, sue the NFL, or sue a team and the NFL. So if that's the case, we're gonna see. Um, and it to me it seems a little disrespectful that you're gonna escort him out. Don't allow him to address the team. It's it's getting interesting, and I'll tell you this: if you're gonna hang your hat on on Nathaniel Hackett, everybody needs to go then. Everybody, like the owners need to sell the team. If Nathaniel Hackett is if you're firing your head coach to save Nathaniel Hackett, who a terrible coach, he sucks, man, and it's like he's not a good head coach. He's not a good coordinator. He's not a good position coach. He's terrible. Like he is the Nate Peterman of coaches. And if you don't know who Nate Peterman is, he's one of the worst NFL players in the history of the game, and I stand by that. I think that he's just a bad coach.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and lobby for Robert Saleh's job.
Correct. I agree.
I think like the writing has been on the wall, right? And the fact that he wasn't fired sooner was a bit surprising. I wasn't upset that he wasn't fired sooner, but at the end of the day, I'm not questioning whether or not he should still have the job because I had no confidence that team was going to look any better with him at the helm. Like I thought that we've already seen like enough. But to your point, at least he had it right going out the door. And possibly he was like, look, this is my issue, is Nathaniel Hackett. All right. If you want me to be better, you want me to do better, I've got to get rid of this guy. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers likes him. I don't care if whatever relationship they have, he is ruining my team. And for him to lose his job because of that, I mean, you summed it up. That is nasty, nasty work.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it's like, come on, like now the question is, will first of all, they should fire Nathaniel Hackett as well. If you're gonna fire Saleh right now, you should fire Nathaniel Hackett as well. But I think here's the thing: I do believe that this fire has more to do than football. I think it's more than football with this firing.
Because they're completely confident that they're going to improve with removing this guy from the locker room. Like that's Woody Johnson's. I mean, you don't see many mid-season firings with no contingency, like we just saw. So to your point, something more is going on, or has to be going on.
Yeah. They're saying that Aaron Rodgers had no input in the coaching change, and that's fine, right?
Oh, they can say it. They can say whatever they want.
Exactly. So it's interesting. But that he was fired. Mm-hmm.
No, so let's say, okay, so let's be fair to Aaron Rodgers, right? Let's say he had zero input in this, right? And let's say it had nothing to do with him. There is something else there if it wasn't the Aaron Rodgers, because it makes no sense that after he wanted to do the right thing, that he lost his job.
Right.
what they're reporting is that Woody Johnson became really frustrated with the fact that the defense was playing so well and the offense was not playing that well. And his final straw, from what they're reporting, I don't know if this is true, but what they're saying is when they played Denver and the Jets defense held Bo Nix to 10 points and the Jets offense only scored 9 points. That was the that began to like say, okay, maybe
He's
we're
a defensive coach.
huh?
So here's my thing. He's a defensive coach. So look at the Buffalo Bills, right? When they were struggling last year, what did they do? They didn't get rid of the head coach. They got rid of the OC, brought in a new OC, and the offense started changing. The offense started changing. They got rid of Dorsey and brought in Brady, right? And or gave Brady a promotion. The offense looked a little better. The Bills defense wasn't really that big of a deal, even though they had the injuries. The Bills defense wasn't a problem. The Bills defense had been playing pretty good the whole time that McDermott's been there, right? So the whole time Robert Sala's been there, the defense has been legit. You know, the offense though was terrible. It was shaky. You know, and right now with the Jets, the offense has been the issue, not the defense. So
I mean,
why get rid of the head coach and not the OC? Like the OC, first of all, like you just said it. The Broncos. And here's my thing. I ain't saying the Broncos are world beaters, and I think the Broncos play off of like momentum and things like that. But to hold them to what they held them to, you should be able to score a touchdown. You didn't score not one touchdown in the game. You know, you score one touchdown with the other field goals, then you win the game. You win the game. So the fact that the offense is playing the way it is, you know, it is what it is. But again, I don't think it's football. You know, he had that. He was in London with the he had the Lebanese flag on his shirt, you know, while he was in London, and I mean we kind of could understand what's going on, you know, in the Middle East right now, you know, so I do think that played a part in it. People may not agree, but I do think that played a part in it.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't think so?
I'm pretty sure this story is going to dominate ESPN all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as it should. I feel like something else is going to happen in regards to the Jets. Nathaniel Hackett should be fired. I'm sorry, he should. You know, he should be fired.
So do
No
you
ifs,
think
ands, or buts about it.
So do you think they're going to make a play, Devontae Adams?
If I'm Devontae Adams, I probably don't even want to go there. Excuse me. I'm sorry. That was just rude. I mean, it's so yeah. They're gonna have to, right? I do think that they make a move for Devontae, and I mean they should. You know, Devontae Adams, wherever he goes, is gonna improve that team. It should improve that team. He has, of course, he has a rapport with Aaron Rodgers. You know, I would say Derek Carr, but shoot, Derek Carr might be hurt for a few weeks. But he's gonna get out. He's gonna get out of Vegas. And before we go, man, we got Bo Nix starting. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, any other rookie starting that I'm thinking about is another rookie that's starting. Bonix, Drake May is gonna get the start this week,
started with Patriots.
and,
Yeah.
and
Trying to think.
yeah,
I feel
and
like rookie.
Spencer Rattler is probably gonna get the start. I think he's gonna get the start this week, but I feel like I was missing somebody else as well. But yeah, so we may have 5 starting rookie quarterbacks, and I'll tell you what, right now, Jaden Daniels is the rookie of the year right now. But keep your eye out and keep your eye on Caleb Williams. He's every week his numbers are getting better and better, and people better watch out. People better watch out. I'm telling you. So
I've told people about him.
yeah,
because everybody's
he's
like,
a ball player, man.
yeah, everybody's so quick. No, he's cheeks. He's butt. And he's like, nah, he's okay.
He's a damn good football player. Yeah, they go. Here's the thing. When it comes to Jaden Daniels, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm gonna give props where props are due, and he's balling right now. But I'm gonna tell you, Commanders fans, something, and this is coming from a caring Cowboys fan, because I care. I do care. I care, Scott. Simmer down a little bit, all right? Simmer down. Like I heard things like I heard MVP talk. I heard of course, rookie of the year. I heard Super Bowl. I said, oh my God. Like let's relax a little bit, okay?
He's changed the whole environment of the city. It's good.
Oh yeah,
it's good to see.
It is good to see, but I'm just telling, relax. It ain't, yeah. So, but man, hey, it's so before we get out of here, hey, look, man, it's homecoming week. You see that right there. It's homecoming week. I'm at Virginia State. We'll be covering the homecoming game. So that'll be dope. It'll be good to see, friends. Hey Scott, man, I think I'm going to the old freshman dorm, man. I'm gonna see who's in my old room. Probably bless them with something, man. I don't know what, but I think that alumni, if you're listening, I think you should all do the same thing, man. If your dorm is still around, you go give back, man. Because think about it. Think about when we were freshmen, man. That would have been, that probably would have changed like some of the outlook on what we thought about at school, on how we approach school. If somebody came back, talked to us a little bit, that just that was probably successful, and was in the positions that they're in, right?
Well, we're gonna be on the yard, definitely.
Yeah.
Shoot, man! Right before we cover the game, maybe we step into Williams Hall, room 119.
Yeah,
That's
man. Step into the old trap. You know what I mean? Step into the old trap and see what's going on. They're probably gonna have all sorts of bells and whistles that we ain't have. But it's cool. It's cool. I mean, because what's gonna happen is when they get 20 years down the road, and they go back there, Williams Hall may be floating or something. I don't know. They may have some other bells and whistles, but nah, man, it's homecoming week. Super exciting. Graduated 20 years ago. I graduated 20 years ago. So yeah, man. I mean, shoot. It should be a good time. A rivalry game for homecoming doesn't happen too often. So just a backstory real quick. Last year, Virginia State was Bowie State's homecoming. I trust me, I was there. And Virginia State ruined Bowie's homecoming. Please believe, because they said it last year, that they are coming to ruin Virginia State's homecoming. That is their ultimate goal. It's gonna be a good one. I don't even know what Bowie State's record is, but Bowie State ain't never really that bad, right? So it's gonna be a good one. I'm excited to see it. But yeah, so I think that's all we got, man. So man. This is off the record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Where's Scottie B?
All right, we out.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scottie B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scottie B.